and from getting a presidential candidate for the Republican Party. And then there was the red group. And the red zone were the ones who were actually going to wear black masks and attack police officers, and attack delegates, and attack the buses of delegates. So the deal was, is the yellow group needed to go on the road to chain down. They were going to use the green group, the mainstream liberals who didn't realize they were being duped, to go on the road and protest. When the police made them get out of the road, they were hoping that gave the yellow group time enough to lock down. Now, if that still didn't give the yellow group time, then that's when the red group would come in and actually use Molotov cocktails, bricks and sticks and everything else you can imagine to attack the police officers. And so the person who was organizing and training these people, and oftentimes was a woman named Lisa Fithian. Now Lisa Fithian is significant because Lisa Fithian also sat on the steering committee for United for Peace and Justice, which is a mainstream Democratic group that was organizing all the liberals to protest too. You see how this is working? Is everybody getting what I'm saying? How they do this? And it's significant for you because Tampa's where your next RNC is, right? Yeah, it's really significant. And so anyways, I ended up helping stop a bomb cloud. I'm honored to say that. And they tried to throw Molotovs at police officers in Republican rallies. So here's what happened though. When I testified, they began to smear me across the country. The New York Times led the way. They led the way. Instead of saying, like, hey, these activists had a bomb plot to burn Republicans and RNC delegates, these activists who were trying to prevent the rights from being the rights of conservatives to assemble and speak their mind. The New York Times had a story that said, peace activists feel betrayed by their government. And that was on me. And they went through and utterly attacked my character for a year until I was done with all of my trials. And they attacked me in every way possible. They changed their narrative. They said every bad thing possible about me, like they're doing about Herman Cain right now, or anyone else, you know. Just any little thing they can, innuendo or insinuation they can put out there in your mind. And they did that. And for a year I had to take that, and I felt like, well, no one really defended me except the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office and some of the cops I'd worked with. And so I just thought my mom was proud of me. Well, it's true, so I was just resigned. I was like, well, if the whole world doesn't care, that's fine. I know what I did was right, and that's all there is to it. And about a year later, I got a phone call from Andrew Breitbart. Y'all know who he is? Yeah, big government background. And he said, Brandon, why don't you defend yourself? I said, I do. They won't print what I say. And he said, well, you can use my sites to say whatever you need to say. I don't care what you have to say. You can defend yourself on my sites and hold these people accountable. And so since that time, I've been doing a pretty good job at it. You know, I've been participating in a lot of things. I got to participate in a minor scale in taking down Acorn, a little bit. I got to participate in exposing the Wall Street movement and all the sexual assaults and the rapes and the murders and the drugs and everything else bad and the people who are calling for more 9/11s, the people who are calling police pigs that the mainstream media doesn't tell you about. And I've got to do a lot of good stuff. I've gotten to work with Andrew and a woman named Catherine Engelbrecht from True the Vote and King Street Patriots in Texas, and a nice young woman named Hannah Giles. They're on my board. And we started an organization named Citizen Patriot Response. And I'm going to give out cards after this. I'm going to pass my box around so y'all can take them if you want. And the whole goal of the organization is to stop the dehumanization of conservatives. That's the whole goal, just like John Bryson did with me. When John Bryson worked with me on helping other people, that dehumanization broke down in a significant way. And so that's what I hope for conservatives and Tea Party groups to do. You know, we all know that when people give money, as much as they have this false narrative that the left cares and the right doesn't, that's not the truth. The right says people in communities and churches help people better than a federal government can. Right? The left really believes, as much as they don't say it that way, this is the truth, is they think that a small, centralized body of superior, educated, academic people can take your money, take 10 of your dollars, give 1 or 2 back to help people in a way that only perpetuates poverty and perpetuates need. That's what they do. That's not what we do. Right. So the way that we're going to break down the dehumanization is we're going to break down the dehumanization by working with people and showing that we can help people in a more efficient, sustainable way than the federal government can. That's what we have to do. That has to be a component as we go up to 2012 and as we go beyond, because once you're interacting with people, that dehumanization can't stay there. Most people aren't capable of that. Now, some of the far left leaders are, but not the mainstream left. Once you're working with them and they see who you really are, they're not going to have an issue with you. So that's what I do. And I'm so grateful and honored that someone like me, who's made the mistakes I've made, can live in a nation like this, where we have checks and balances and a stable system that consistently becomes better and better, even though there's a few setbacks. We have checks and balances. You know, checks and balances that hopefully will survive the person we have in the White House and the person leading our Justice Department.